You know, you guys, out of everything we have seen into the beginning of this interesting new NBA season, I truly feel like there is only one specific word that can accurately depict what we have seen thus far. And this word, which a lot of you will probably agree with me on, is unpredictable. Because for a majority of the NBA, excluding a handful of teams, whether this is for the good or for the bad, really haven't been able to pick up a consistent stride so far into the year and show us what they are going to bring to the table on a night in and night out basis. And one of these teams, even though they are currently sitting as one of the better teams across the entire league, is undoubtedly the Miami Heat. Because again, even with sitting at a 13-8 overall record and just a game and a half back from first place in the East, it's clear that this team is playing well, but it's also very obvious that this team has not hit their ceiling yet. And in order to hit this ceiling, there are going to be a couple different factors that are going to determine if this is a possibility. And I'm sure you all guessed it, but this is what we're going to be getting into in today's video. One sec, if you haven't yet, don't forget to like the video if you do enjoy, subscribe, and turn on those noties to never miss another NBA video. Love you guys. And for any of you regulars that haven't done so yet, believe me, I'm highly encouraging you to do this, because according to my numbers, around 96% of you guys coming back to watch the content haven't even subscribed yet. And for any of you that do, I appreciate you more than anything, so thank you. Let's get back on track with the Miami Heat. Because yes, even though they are one of the teams that many people would say have gone continuously up and down throughout the beginning of this year, when we take a deeper look into some of their advanced statistics, the numbers generally do back up the decent start they have had to the year. As just to name off a few, this Miami Heat squad currently has the 7th best offensive rating, the 4th best defensive rating, and the 9th best effective field goal percentage out of all teams across the league. And undoubtedly one of the biggest reasons as to why they are seeing this success is due to the overall outstanding performance we have seen from this team's leader in Jimmy Butler. And to anyone who hasn't watched their fair share of Miami Heat games so far this season, this will probably be the first time you hear it when I tell you that Jimmy Butler is having nothing short of an MVP caliber season. And yes, I am not exaggerating when I say this, as so far this year, Jimmy Butler has been putting up averages of around 23.5 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 52% shooting from the field, which I'm sure might not seem like anything crazy to the bare eye when you look at these stats, but as a matter of fact, if Jimmy Butler is able to keep up the pace he is currently at, he will set career highs in the categories of his points per game, steals per game, and even field goal percentage. And just because I pointed this out, believe me, this is not the reason as to why I think he's in the MVP race, but if you don't believe me when I say this, we'll just have to go ahead and refer to Basketball Reference's 2022 MVP tracker, which currently has Jimmy Butler at the 3rd highest probability to win the 2022 MVP, only sitting behind 2 former MVPs in Stephen Curry and Nikola Jokic. But besides the fact of his MVP race position, I think it's very clear that Jimmy Butler is coming out with a vengeance this year when thinking about the underwhelming finish this Heat team had to last year. I mean, let's be real, Jimmy's the kind of guy that always has vengeance on his mind. To see him continually get better on a year in and year out basis for this Miami Heat squad, it's more obvious than ever before that Jimmy Butler is well capable of being the leader of a championship caliber team. But besides Jimmy Butler, there are so many different things about this Heat team that scream that they can be a contender. Whether we're talking about the addition of PJ Tucker and what he has brought to the table, or even Kyle Lowry being the new overseeing point guard for a team that has already been on the brink of an NBA championship. But undoubtedly one of the biggest uprisings this team has seen so far is the surge in play of their 3rd year star Tyler Herro. Because in case any of y'all have been living under a rock, Tyler Herro has been having one of the best bounce back seasons the NBA has seen in quite some time. And if you don't believe me on this statement either, let's dive into the numbers. Because when we compare Tyler Herro's averages last year of 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists per game to the numbers he's been putting up this season of 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists per game, it seems pretty clear that Tyler Herro heard the noise about him this offseason and is doing everything in his power to prove everyone wrong. And oh yeah, I also didn't mention yet that he is putting up these staggering type of numbers while coming off of the bench for this Miami Heat squad. So just to throw another fun fact out there for you guys, not only does Tyler Herro currently have the 3rd best odds to win the 2022 Most Improved Player Award, but he is also the odds-on favorite as of right now to win the 2022 6th Man of the Year award. Now, I'm not going to be the one to go out on a limb and say that Tyler Herro's play is the sole reason the Heat have seen the success that they have so far, but honestly, this man has not been getting the amount of credit from the media that he should be. And some of this might have to do with the fact that again he is coming off of the bench, but in many ways so far this season, Tyler Herro has been contributing in a starting role more than some of the legitimate starters have. First, obviously, in the massive output of his numbers. Second, which this is crazy to me, but Tyler Herro currently has the second most fourth quarter points, not just on the Miami Heat, but out of any player in the entire NBA, just sitting behind DeMar DeRozan. Now, if this doesn't scream X Factor for a championship team right in your face, I really don't know what will. And then I also wanted to talk about one of the bigger additions to a team across the entire NBA this offseason in Kyle Lowry, and what he has been able to do in reference to this team's overall success. But if I'm being honest with you, and you might end up agreeing with me on this, he really hasn't done that much. And don't get me wrong when I say that, I'm not trying to imply that he has been atrocious, useless, or hurting this Miami Heat team by any stretch of the imagination, but what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that he has not lived up to the hype or played to the high caliber he has over the recent years so far into the season. Because just for reference, so far this year, he has put up averages of 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 7.5 assists per game, also shooting 42% from the field and just over 30% from 3. And then when you compare these averages to what he was putting up last year in Toronto, there is definitely a noticeable difference which can be seen most in the shooting splits. And I know, the situation he is dealing with right now is completely different in terms of what he has been dealing with over the last couple of years, both in terms of the overall scheme of play and how much weight is put on his shoulders to carry his respective team. But I think it's safe to say that Heat fans were expecting a little bit more out of him, at least in terms of his shooting ability, which myself and I'm sure many other people included know that it's a foregone conclusion that his numbers are going to rise. But outside of shooting, and specifically looking at his playmaking and ability to run an offense, not much has changed in this aspect. As I do remember seeing some people mention that Kyle Lowry had a decent amount of turnovers at least at the beginning of the year, but when we compare his assist to turnover ratio this year compared to his prior 3 years in Toronto, it's pretty obvious that he is right on par with his capability in this facet of the game. But again, we all know that Lowry is a tad rusty right now, but when he gets up to the best of his playing abilities again, which will happen in due time, he is going to be one of the biggest deciding factors on if this team is able to get over the hump. But now, besides everything I've mentioned so far, I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to think about the situation, which honestly is my favorite part of every single video, so please let me know in the comments what you think this Miami Heat team needs to be a championship level team. Do you think with how they're playing right now that they're set? Do you think that they might have to make a bigger trade down the road? Let me know your thoughts. But also, again, if you haven't yet, don't forget to go down below and leave a like on the video if you did enjoy, and of course, subscribe while you're down there. I really can't say it enough, you guys. We're coming out with brand new NBA content around here on a daily basis. Believe me when I say it, you don't want to miss out. But on that note, I just wanted to say thank you so much to each and every one of you for watching. I appreciate all of you more than anything in the entire world. You all know this, and I will see you guys in the next video.